What's up? Welcome to my channel. I'm your host, Michael, and today I'm going to be talking about how I bought a mobile home for $1,000 and sold it for close to $30,000. Now, I know a lot of people don't really think about mobile homes when it comes down to investing, but man, let me tell you, it is the greatest shit in the world. Now, maybe you've been sitting there watching YouTube and you've been looking at people talking about how to get into real estate or how to get some passive income, and you just don't know where to start, or you might not even be in a financial situation to where you can invest in a house. But it's a lot easier than you think. So with mobile homes, there's a very low threshold on getting in the door. But let me get to my story. So I had just got done flipping one mobile home, and then I got on Facebook, and then somebody already had a mobile home for sale for like $1,000. It was like a mid-90s double wide, and I was like, somebody's letting this thing go for $1,000. Well, it turns out that it was a young couple that had bought the land and the home was already sitting on it. They had other plans for it. Now, these are what I would call motivated sellers. What's a motivated seller? I mean, for lack of a better term, they're desperate to get rid of the house. They just didn't want the mobile home on their property. And I don't blame them. So I came to scoop it up. So I walked around a little bit, looked at the rooms and everything. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Those tend to go very quickly. I mean, I've literally never held one longer than about 2 weeks. So anyways, I walk inside the mobile home and she just gives me the grand tour of the place. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Those tend to go really quickly. And I knew I could make some money off of it. Obviously, it needed some cosmetic work, but the floors and everything was solid. The cabinets were f***ed, but I already know stuff like that can be fixed really easy. So here's what I did. The home was such a great deal, and I knew basically what I could get for it. So I was like, boom, okay, here's $1,000, but I'm gonna sweeten the deal, right? I'm gonna give you another $200 on top of that. That way, you'll know that I'm dead serious about it. And then I brokered a deal with them to where I could work on the home where it sat at and also sell it from where it is too. So that takes a whole lot of moving expense and everything out of what I was doing. Because moving a double wide cost me somewhere around about, $3,000 to $3,500, or even $4,000 depending on what state I'm in. So the place needed some flooring, it needed cabinets, it needed countertops, it needed paint. It also needed some outside work to be done, and I took care of that as well. All in all, I would say I probably sunk about $2,500 into this house to make it look, up to my standards. Because I never move anybody into a mobile home that I wouldn't live in myself. Now, going into flipping mobile homes, one of the first things you want to do is have an exit strategy, right? So what I do is I have a list of people who already know what they're looking for and how much money they're willing to spend on it. That's how I know how much I can get for whatever it is that I go out there on the market and find, right? Now, another thing is that it's nobody else's business to know what it is that you paid for a mobile home. I mean, don't go out there spreading your business all over the place. It's nobody else's business but your own. If you sit here and spend, I don't know, a couple of $1,000s and then charge somebody else for that thing, I mean, welcome to capitalism. So boom, I got my buyers list. It's full of people who already told me what they got to spend and what they want. So I know I got the place pretty much sold anyways. So going in there and doing all the work, I mean, I've got carpentry skills. I know that everybody does not. And you can always hire somebody to do it. Or you can also sell it as is. Just depends on how much money you want to make out of a property. I mean, I literally could have bought this place for $1,000, not put anything into it, and turned around and flipped it for, 10 times as much what I put into it. So that's another cool thing. So after I did that, I went on ahead and took some pictures. I went on ahead and got on a couple of public forums, posted those there just in case anybody who was on my list, maybe their circumstances had changed from the last time that we had talked. But they were my top priority anyway. So I shot a message out to everybody who wanted a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it was cool, right? I mean, people started responding and everything like that. I had maybe about 2 or 3 days worth of people coming out to come and look at the home, to look at the work and everything that I had done, and they liked it. Lo and behold, a married couple came out there and they bought it. Also, let's say, for instance, I didn't want to sell it for the cash, right? Let's say, for instance, I've put in the $3,600, right, to buy that home and also bring it up to my standards. So what I can do is I can put it out there is if somebody wants to make payments, because from my area, let's say, for instance, right, $450 a month is cool for me, right? If somebody wants to go on ahead and pay, rent, or in this case, a mortgage for that home, then that's cool. So only thing that I need to do is break even, or maybe have the down payment or something just a little bit more than the break even point. Let's say if I put it down for if I want to be selling this house at close to $30,000, I can tell somebody, hey, you know, I'm gonna need a $5,000 down payment on this home. And then every month after that, they'll be making payments of $450, $500. Depending on where you live at, it might be a little bit more than that. But this is one of those ways that you go on ahead and start getting that mailbox money in that people are talking about all the time. It doesn't take that much work. And if you got yourself like an online payment system or something, because when I first started, I would just kind of like go by people's homes at the beginning of the month or whenever their payment was due, and I would just write them a receipt. And I was like, man, forget that. So I went on ahead, got myself an online payment system where they could just pay with their debit card every month, and once a month, like clockwork, transfer it into my bank account. You know what I'm saying, baby? Work your hand. Last thing is having your paperwork and everything in order. Now, really all it takes in order to sell a mobile home, you just really need, like I said, a bill of sale and title work and everything, but you also need to do your due diligence to make sure that the person you're buying the mobile home from is the actual owner of it. Because you don't want to get caught up in buying something from somebody who don't own what you just sank, you know, 20 grand into or something like that, right? Especially not the people who are buying the home from you. Not that I would ever recommend any of you pay $20,000 for a mobile home that you're trying to sell, right? As a matter of fact, I would never buy into a mobile home unless I could make at least double my money back. Now, when it comes down to moving a mobile home, the best thing for you to do is go out there and garner some relationships with mobile home movers and try to get a flat rate if you're gonna be doing something like this. And the one thing that you wanna go ahead and tell them is, hey, you know what? I have such a high volume of moves and I'm gonna need a solid, team of people to help me out with this. Do you think you can give me a flat rate for single wides and double wides? So I already had a great rate. Just so happens with this one right here, I mean, I went on ahead and included my move price in there with that. So let's look at it this way. I bought the mobile home for $1,200. I put $2,500 into it. It took me about a month to get all this done. Actually could have took about 2 weeks, but I chose this to do a special project in. All right, so what does that put us at? $3,600 that I got wrapped up into this? Now I go on ahead and subtract my move cost from that if I'm the one who's gonna move it myself. Now here's the cool part about this, right? So I listed the home at $25,000. I also said that the move was included. Here's another thing. Now people will want to try to haggle you down a little bit. And the way I price my mobile homes is for them to be able to do that. Because once they feel like they've gotten a better deal for something, they're more likely to pay. So I automatically price mine up here, and I know I'm gonna wind up somewhere down here in the middle, right? So I went on ahead and listed it and stated that the move was included. But I also went on ahead and said that there was wiggle room for the price just in case, the buyer felt like they had somebody who could move it for cheaper than what I could. And then I would knock that price off of there. Because at the end of the day, that money isn't going in my pocket anyways, right? And that's it. I mean, it really is something cool. I really do enjoy it. I like teaching people how to do it. I mean, like I said, if the events of 2020 have taught us anything, is that no help is coming from anywhere else unless we get out here and do it. And making passive income doesn't have to be one of these lofty things. You don't have to go out here and join some crazy ass MLM or something like that and be selling essential oils. Really, all you have to do is get out there, pass out some cards and everything, start looking online, start looking at some classifieds and find yourself those deals. And then once you find those, start looking in your area about like what other people are charging for mobile homes that are similar to the ones that you're looking at, right? That way you can get a better understanding of what kind of a profit margin you're looking at. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say that you're always gonna find deals like that, but they are out there. Even if you're in a larger city or something, right? You have people like that on the outskirts of where you live at. So deals are out there if you just know what to look for. And I guarantee you after this video, you'll never look at mobile homes the same. Now I know what you might be thinking, but Michael, isn't that cheating? No, it's not. This is one thing that you have to understand right here. The mindset that we've been given ever since we were kids being brought up in the system, like the educational system is designed to just crank out more mediocre workers because that's what keeps the machine of the economy going, right? It needs more burger flippers. It needs more cab drivers. It needs more people working in retail, more people living below their greatness. So once you start understanding that you are supposed to be winning in life, things like this just become natural. It was funny for me at first. I was like, oh my God, I really feel like I'm doing this. But the thing is that I looked at what other businesses were doing and the exact same model that they had, that they were using to make millions. Surely I could use that to make myself about $10,000 a month, right? Just makes sense. So tell yourself right now that in life, you're supposed to win. In life, you deserve more. if you work for it. So if you want to know more about how you can get into flipping mobile homes, there's a link down in the description that you can click. It'll take you to my website. I got some free information over there for you about how you can get started. All right, so that's my time. That's gonna be it for this video. Make sure that you smash that like button, subscribe, comment. It really helps out the channel. And if you want to, I got my Instagram down there in the comments too. I really need stalkers right now. That's it, signing off. Coach Michael, teaching you how to get that bread up. Peace. See you next time.